We all have moments in life where we have an opportunity to become engaged in helping in a situation that has nothing to do with us. Sometimes we act on it, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes acting can be life-changing. The economy has greatly affected the plight of animals, and it is heartbreaking. Owners are turning in their pets to high-kill shelters right and left because they can no longer care for them financially. Because of this, shelters are overcrowded and euthanasia rates are on the rise. But with the current economic situation comes not only an increase in pet abandonment and overcrowding in shelters, but also an increased opportunity to serve. In the current economic situation, pets are becoming a financial burden. The cost of owning a pet is no longer affordable for some families. While worrying about feeding their family, making mortgage payments, paying for gas, and keeping their jobs, people's need to keep the family pet is put on a low priority. Some shelters in the Boston area report a 45% increase in pets surrendered for economic or housing-related reasons. With foreclosures at an all-time high, families with pets are forced to leave their homes and their pets behind. Pets are increasingly being surrendered to animal shelters and rescues. There is also an increase in pet abandonment. Pets left wandering in the streets or tied up in backyards of abandoned houses. In past years, 8 million pets a year entered shelters, but many experts believe that with the sour economy, intake numbers are increasing while adoptions are holding steady or decreasing. Without the resources to continue operating and keep up with the demand, animal rescue groups have been folding too. With the increase in abandonment comes an increase in problems. Shelters do not have the room to accommodate the increase in animals. This causes an increase in euthanasia. Shelters try to leave animals time to get adopted, but it depends solely on room available at the shelter. Dogs at the shelter cannot accommodate are euthanized. Overcrowding also complicates shelter health care. These abandoned animals come in with major health problems such as mange, malnourishment, and abuse. With all these animals in close contact comes the easier spread of diseases. Most dogs come into the shelters with heartworm, which has an extensive and expensive treatment that most shelters and rescue groups cannot afford. With all of these problems, though, comes the increased opportunity to help. Animal shelters are not only looking for monetary donations, but also donations of time. They are looking for volunteers to come walk, play, fetch, and give time and affection to the sheltered dogs. The volunteering increases adoptions because prospective adopters come in and see a nice, clean shelter and happy dogs. This type of volunteering can be very rewarding because the efforts are helping to save the lives of abandoned animals. Volunteering your time cleaning shelters and playing with the animals is not the only way to help either. Rescue groups are always looking for foster families and transportation. Fostering allows dog lovers to volunteer their time and love even if they aren't able to offer permanent commitment. Another way to help save shelter animals is to help transportation efforts. One organization that helps with this particular problem is Pilots and Paws, which is a non-profit message board that allows animal shelters and pet rescue groups to post their transport needs so general aviation pilots willing to fly an animal can provide the means. These pilots volunteer their time and money to fly shelter animals from states like Georgia to places such as Illinois, where there is more of a demand for animals to be adopted. The rewards of volunteering are evident, and the pilots find these flights gratifying. There are many rewards to volunteering to help abandoned animals. Stella Garrison has been volunteering rescuing animals for 6 years. When asked if the expenses of fostering were worth the rewards, she answered, "It is absolutely worth my time, and one of the most rewarding experiences I have ever had." There were 2 rescues in particular that had a huge impact on her and her family. The first was Henry. She says that from the first moment she saw him, that despite the mange and atrophied muscles, she knew he was a majestic animal. Stella visited Henry at the veterinarian every day for 3 weeks until he was released to her home, where she started to search for a permanent family for him. Henry was adopted by a family with 5 children, and Stella says that even though it was heartbreaking to let him go, seeing the pictures of him with his new family makes it all worthwhile. The second story was that of Gracie Marie. Abused and abandoned, Stella rescued her from a shelter minutes before she was scheduled to be euthanized. The terrible abuse that Gracie suffered made her terrified to be around people. Love made Gracie trust Stella, but when she was adopted out to a new loving family, she ran away within 30 minutes. Stella and her family searched for Gracie for days, and after she was found, she became a permanent member of Stella's family. Stella says that she has her pack and her family now, and the fear in her eyes is beginning to fade away. There is nothing more precious to me than the love I receive from her every day. Saving her life was the best decision I have made in a very long time. Volunteering can be life-changing. The current economy allows people the opportunity to volunteer and save lives, which can often be one of the most rewarding experiences. While the increase in pet abandonment is heartbreaking, it provides opportunities for action. Stella said a quote that sums it all up perfectly. "Adopting one dog won't change the world, but for that one dog, the world will change."
Something always brings me back to you. It never takes too